Okay, I am in no way calling myself a pro on dating or saying that I know exactly what needs to be done on a first date, but I do know what does not need to be done on a first date, and it's what I just experienced, and it is asking a girl out for a simple little coffee date for drinks, anything. And the moment you get there, you act like you could not care less. Even if you just met there, you didn't drive together, you don't meet her at the door to say hey, and then like go into the coffee shop, find a table together, you just let her wander in aimlessly. You don't text her, oh hey, I'm here, oh I'm wearing a blue shirt, oh I'm sitting right here. You just let her wander around figuring out where you are until you're like, oh, over here. And then you, who invited said girl on the date, plan the whole thing. This person did. And then you don't even offer to pay or anything. I'm not saying a guy has to pay for every single date, but if you organize something, if I organize something, I'm gonna pay, vice versa. That's what not to do, but you know, I'm not a pro.
Liar, your pants on fire.
Alright, well I guess I'm failing to see the issue here. He set up the date, he showed up on time, and considering that a modern woman places a man's looks above all else, I'm assuming you either FaceTimed him or you at least have a photo. And unless this particular coffee shop is somehow the size of the mega church you're inevitably going to join after you hit the wall, then it shouldn't have been that difficult to spot this guy. And the reason why he couldn't care less, well that's either because he didn't or because he realized 5 seconds after talking to you that meeting you for coffee was a terrible mistake. And then to add insult to injury, you're complaining that he didn't offer to pay for your overpriced sugary frappe or artisanal cocktail because apparently having to pay $15 is asking way too much of you. And let's just be real here. Even if the guy met you at the door and walked into the table and gave you real-time updates as to where he was sitting and paid for everything, I mean, come on, you're still gonna find a reason to complain. There's a reason why you're hopelessly single, woman. And with the way you're acting, yeah, that's pretty much gonna be a problem for the rest of your life.
Congratulations!
When you're married to someone who doesn't like you, it's pretty easy to start to assume that you're just not very likable. And when I first started gaining a following on TikTok, one of the weirdest things for me to reconcile with was that people just seem to like me. And that's weird to process when you live with someone who openly resents you. Like, my happiness literally bothered him. You know, I had to be careful not to let him know that I loved something or I was happy about something, because inevitably it would be used against me or twisted in a way that I couldn't have it anymore. I literally couldn't ask him for the simplest things. Like, I remember one time telling him that it upset me that he almost never told me that I was pretty or I looked nice. And he told me that he couldn't start telling me more because if he did, it would only be because I asked him to and not because he meant it, and it would just be fake.
Well, what did the police say?
So if I'm understanding you correctly, your husband is an awful man who makes you miserable. He hates your guts and never passes up an opportunity to let you know how much he's disgusted by you. And your first example is that he's not telling you that he thinks you're pretty? Well, gee whiz, you'd think if he was truly awful, then you would have some legitimate examples here. I mean, your husband had a perfectly valid point and you immediately used it against him. You set him up for a spousal Kobayashi Maru. If he doesn't tell you that he thinks you're pretty, that means he doesn't like you. And if he does tell you that he thinks you're pretty, then he's doing it because you nagged him and he doesn't like you. You see the problem? It doesn't matter what he does. He's going to be wrong either way. And if he's answering you that way, then it's clear to all of us that you pull this kind of crap all the time and he's pretty much at the point of shutting down. And to make matters worse, you shame him on the internet for the drama that you created just so you can be a victim in a marriage where you're clearly not oppressed or the victim of anything that isn't your own stupidity.
He didn't think I was funny. He didn't think I was cool. He didn't think I was interesting. He thought I was fundamentally annoying. And I can't speak for everyone. And it didn't happen overnight. And I wouldn't even say that TikTok was a major contributing factor in my divorce.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
But I will say that realizing that hundreds of thousands of people just liked me, and while I was putting so much effort into trying to get one person to just like me.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
One person that shouldn't have had to try to like me. They should have just liked me. You know, that gave me the freedom to ask, do I even like him?
A smelly fish! And it's not a cod.
Woman, has it ever occurred to you that if you wanted your husband to like you, you had to be, you know, likable? I mean, let's think about this for a second. A man usually isn't going to marry a woman that he doesn't like. It's just not going to happen. If he's letting you into his life, that means he cares about you and he assumes you feel the same way about him. But over time, you show your true colors, which includes that one shade of beige that just makes you nauseous and the puke green that always comes afterwards. We all know this because of your TikTok channel, which was the biggest contributor to your divorce. You thought that your following made you better than the man you married, and then the hellfire of your pettiness started to shine right on through like a cursed gemstone from a really crappy B adventure movie from the 1970s. You made his life miserable with your constant nagging and destroying the marriage with 1,000 tiny cuts. And you could have avoided all of this if you didn't post every single piece of dirty laundry on TikTok, but we all know if it's the choice between being nice to your husband and your following of faceless internet strangers, we all know which one you're gonna choose.
I don't like you so much. For one, you're stinky. And for two, you don't smell so nice.
I'm with you, pal. I'm with you.
Why is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? Because the women are evolving so much and the men are falling behind. Forget about a good man, even a normal decent guy is rare nowadays. I don't know about other countries, but in China, especially in the big cities, more and more women are choosing to stay single, not getting married, not having kids. I live in Shenzhen, half of my girlfriends are single by choice. They're very focused on improving themselves financially, physically, spiritually, mentally, all about having a great life. They're funny, kind, energetic, you just love being around them. But when you look at the men around us, at this age, if they are already balding or sticking out a beer belly, it's a win. And not to even mention the moment they start talking. It makes you wonder if this is 1949.
I don't know what that means.
You know, if you're going to claim that you're evolved, it would actually be kind of helpful if you can tell us exactly what you mean by that. Because physically, yeah, that hasn't happened. You're just as weak and as frail as you've always been. The only difference is the massive increase in your intake of caffeine, alcohol, and cake frosting. In terms of intellect, well, considering that the vast majority of your talking points are either facts that have been debunked, statistics taken out of context, and absurd arguments backed purely by your feelings, that's just not the case here. You haven't evolved financially either. You're in debt, you're terrible with money, and despite your massive evolution, you still expect us to front the bill when it comes to everything. And sister, when it comes to balding, yeah, you really shouldn't be taking pot shots when your hairline has receded faster than your femininity or your use to society. So I'm failing to see where you've evolved here. I mean, you and your kind are descending deeper into madness every single day because you screwed up your lives so badly when you have no excuse for that. So when you put all that together with Ado, if anything, you've devolved, sweetheart.
And also, as someone who's being intentionally single, I have found so much joy and fulfillment in other aspects of my life. My family, friendships, content creation, career, traveling, time with my dog. Love comes in many forms. I don't believe there's something you must get through a specific man. So a few days ago, I was in Tokyo for the Oasis concert, and after that, me and my friends, we traveled to Mount Fuji, cycling around the lake. So looking at the beautiful scenery, I was thinking to myself how lucky I am to experience this with my friends. Life is great. But I never came across my mind, oh my god, I wish there was a man by my side. Like, it doesn't seem that necessary. So my approach towards dating and romantic relationship is very realistic nowadays. Unless being with a man adds significant value to my life, I think it's better for women to stay single.
Oh, yes, I respect that.
Wait. You got to spend a week in Japan, bike around Mount Fuji, and you got to go to an Oasis concert? Well, golly gee willikers, woman, that surely changes everything. I mean, you did give up a life of contentment of pure purpose by starting a family, and in return, you got a job for a company that doesn't care about you, parents that you clearly failed, crippling loneliness, and an unhealthy amount of contempt for a population of men who haven't done a thing to you. I mean, you were biking around Mount Fuji and the whole time, all you could think about is how great it is that you don't have a man in your life. And that's not normal. It just shows that even when you're doing the things and bragging about living your best life, you still can't stop yourself from somehow bashing us for no reason. And you have no idea that by doing this, that the precious few men in the world who would be interested in something with you have been turned off by your negativity. Lady, you gotta face it here. You're doubling down on a decision that stripped you of your purpose, forced you into a job that exhausts you, makes you lonely, miserable, and does nothing but anger you, and it was all unnecessary. Because even with all of your hate towards us, we're still not the ones looking back in anger. We just stopped caring.
That's the joke.
So a new poll came out today that asked Gen Z men and women to define what personal success and fulfillment looked like to them. Gen Z men who voted for Trump ranked having children as the #1 definer of personal success. Guess where women who voted for Harris ranked it? Dead fucking last. Gen Z women, even Republican Gen Z women, consider personal financial freedom and independence to be way more of a definer of personal success and fulfillment than having kids. In fact, getting married and having kids didn't even crack the top 5 for any group other than men who voted for Trump. It's a really fascinating poll. I did a whole breakdown on my YouTube channel, just had to talk about it. So if you're interested, I am so proud of us.
It's nothing to be proud of, Rusty.
Okay, why? Why are you so proud? What is it that you have to be proud of? Men have been wanting kids since the dawn of time. It's literally coded into our DNA, and this has nothing to do with politics. Men want to start families, and the fact that you find that to be a weakness just shows your complete and utter lack of any redeeming qualities as a human. You think getting money is all you need to feel complete in your life, but the words of your hive-minded morons say otherwise. We've seen countless modern women say they don't need kids and how all they needed in their lives was their jobs and their empty apartments and their cats. But their faces paint a different story, sister. You and your kind are miserable. You're lonely, exhausted, and despite all of your financial success, you're still broke and trying to find a man to financially support you as you waste his money on a knick-knack business that will ultimately go nowhere. And if you're an only child, then you have completely severed your family bloodline, all in the name of having a job, ruining your body, and filling your soul with bitter hate. So I'm genuinely confused here. I mean, what is there to be proud of? Because the last time I checked, and I have to check more often than I should, there is nothing to be proud of when you're a complete and utter failure. I just want to give a shout out to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for their support of the channel. All of you guys are tops in my book, and that book is leather bound and extremely exclusive. All hail! If you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where I have almost 100 videos of exclusive content that you're not going to find on YouTube. Links in the pinned comment down below if you want to check it out. And that's going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.